It's time for the Savvy Realtor podcast. I'm Walter Storholt alongside Angie Cole, the owner and broker in charge of A. Cole Realty, serving you throughout the Triangle, teaching you about the ins and outs when it comes to buying or selling a home. You can find the team online by going to acolerealty.com. That's A-C-O-L-E realty.com, or by calling 919-578-3128. That's 919-578-3128. And now it's time for one of the top realtors in the Triangle, Angie Cole, and the Savvy Realtor podcast. Well, you know, Angie, regardless of who you are, how much money you have, when and where you're going to sell the home, we know that location and all these things sometimes will impact how a home is going to sell and how it's going to do. There are some real estate facts that you just need to know, and really they're going to impact everybody, no matter what your particular situation is. And so we want to make sure that you're not left shrugging your shoulders on some of these important issues and instead are well equipped to handle them. So one real estate fact that I would identify with, Angie, and if I say one you disagree with, please set me straight. But from my research, I certainly have found that, those who don't understand their local market are pretty much doomed to fail when it comes time for the transaction. Would you agree with that?
I think there's a fine line there. That's where a real estate professional should come into place. And we are talking about if you're a buyer or seller, right? And feeling this way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So, if you don't understand your local market, that's where a local real estate agent should be educating you on, this is the market. This is the average, inventory levels. This is what you can expect to see in the price point or the location you're considering or the home that you're selling. So by not understanding your local market, you're not doomed to fail, but you need the advice of a professional. And that's why as a local real estate agent, we're able to educate you, and we're always honest and upfront with, this is how things are, or this is the price that you can get for your home, because we're doing you disservice if we're not. So you're not doomed to fail. I'm not quite on board with this one.
Okay, that's good. No, you're more than welcome.
But be open to taking suggestions and feedback, right? Because otherwise you are doomed to fail if you're not open to listening to the facts.
So somebody in the process needs to understand the local market, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the actual buyer or seller if they've got somebody helping them.
No, not in any way.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Exactly.
All right, another one, and I like it when you disagree because you're the expert after all. Real estate is governed by the law, the simple law of supply and demand. Anybody who's ever taken Econ 101 might disagree with the term simple law, but nonetheless, supply and demand, that pretty much drives things, right?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely agreeing with this one. It's 100% true. The lower the inventory, the higher the prices go up. It is what it is. And that comes into play when it comes to selling your home. You could more than likely expect more money if there's very low inventory. But then on the buy side, if there's low inventory, you need to be a lot more, urgent when it comes to probably submitting offers. You might be paying a little bit more than what you would pay if the market was flooded with inventory. So yeah, 100% right. Supply and demand is real estate. Those coincide with each other.
That's an easy one. Also, your home is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. That's pretty true.
So true. When we go over our comparables, so when I go out to a listing presentation, we start talking numbers, I show them paper, right? And it could be plain as day on paper that, okay, everything in your neighborhood is selling at $150 a square foot, or you'll be right within this range based on paper. But the thing that we need to remember is you're looking at a piece of paper, you're not truly walking through the comparable home. So what if all of the other comparable homes had this amazing flat backyard, but then the home that I'm trying to sell, this kind of our subject property, has a backyard that just drops off. Even though the acreage is the exact same, there's going to be a different buyer for each property. And so right there, your home is only worth what a buyer's willing to pay for it, because to a buyer, the home with the just steep drop-off backyard is not going to be worth as much as a home with a nice flat backyard. So that's true. But, it goes both ways. I always tell, our clients that your home's only worth what the buyers are willing to pay for it and what you're willing to sell it for. If the numbers don't make sense to you, maybe you'll just stay put. So it has to be a win-win on both ends.
Absolutely. Another great point, Angie. The other thing I want to mention here as well as we talk about some of these real estate facts that you can take to the bank. If you're just joining us, we're talking with Angie Cole, one of the top real estate agents here in the Triangle, about these items. Smart marketing makes a big difference. I know just from interviewing you so many times, this is a big one on your list.
Oh, yeah. I mean, marketing is number one when it comes to selling a home and getting top dollar. Right now during, 2019, it seems like every seller is hoping and wishing for multiple offers. And, sometimes that's just not feasible on every listing. But in hopes to get that, marketing is number one. So yeah, smart marketing makes a difference. You need to make sure that you're interviewing, the agents that you are meeting with, and you're truly understanding what all is encompassed, what's all involved in their marketing plan. Number one thing these days is definitely internet exposure. I mean, they should be doing all different types of internet exposure to really get your home in front of the potential buyers. Our team, of course, we go above and beyond, and we have this radio show where we do our feature listings of the week. We're the only agent here in the Triangle that has this radio show or this type of, marketing piece that we can really push our listings out there. So yes, smart marketing makes a difference. I agree again.
Whether you're buying or selling, this one will come into play as well. Know your budget and stick to it is pretty good advice most of the time, right?
Yeah, I can see, sometimes we have buyers that can just kind of get overwhelmed with the process or be almost let down. We do a great job on educating you in the very beginning to give you guidance so this doesn't happen. But I have seen it happen before where, you're not sticking within your budget. So you start browsing on your own for homes that, you just fall in love with. But these homes are all, 25, 50,000 above your max budget. And that's just unrealistic because, of course, a home that is, 50,000 more than your budget, you're going to like it more, right? It's going to have more bells and whistles, maybe more square footage, whatever it might be. So, know your budget. And the best way to go about that is if you're getting financing, make sure that you speak with a lender because what you can do is you can share with the lender what monthly budget that you feel comfortable with paying towards your home. And then from there, they can give you direction on a price point. And so you want to make sure that you are looking at homes that are not above that price point because especially in this market right now with it still being a strong seller's market, it depends on the scenario, but we might not be able to negotiate strong for you. So don't start looking at homes that are well above your budget because it just will be a letdown for you.
Yeah, it's a really good point, too, and we want to manage those expectations throughout the process. One more real estate fact you can take to the bank here is selling your home without an agent on your side dramatically increases your risk. You've seen this time and time again, Angie.
I have, and time and time again, I've taken over listings that were at one point FSBOs, for sale by owners. But yeah, I mean, risk can mean a lot of things. I mean, risk can mean from a safety standpoint, of course. I met with a sweet couple the other day, and, I shared with them the numbers of, okay, this is where we should list. This is kind of the range of what we should expect to get for your home. And, they shared with me, they said, well, wow, this is surprising, kind of upset. They said, we've already gotten an offer, a cash offer from someone at another price point that was, honestly, it was above what I know they could even get for the market. And they said, you want to see the contract? I said, sure, let me know. And so they shared it with me. And I was like, guys, I could be wrong. Get this in front of an attorney, but this looks like a scam to me. It was very, very fishy. And they were, immediately were like, you know what, we were thinking the same thing. But that goes to show a for sale by owner. People are coming after you, from a risk standpoint, safety standpoint, you have to be careful with who you're working with on the flip side. Also as far as risk, I mean, financially, if you are doing a for sale by owner and you don't have an agent looking out for you and putting all their marketing behind getting your home sold at top dollar, you could really be leaving a lot of money on the table. And although in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, without having an agent, I don't have to pay those commissions. But in the grand scheme of things, and this is actually, there's a study behind this, for sale by owners overall actually net less than if you were to list your home with an agent and still pay their commission. So working with an agent that's on your side is dramatically, going to, save you financially and from a safety standpoint. And so if you are, I know we've been talking a lot about both buying and selling and just kind of, facts that you can take to the bank. And one of them, I didn't agree with, but I do agree with the rest of them. But if you are thinking about selling your home, great way to get started is by understanding what your home is worth in 2019. What could you sell your home for in today's market? And we have a great tool that you can receive that information. So just on your smartphone. So to get an idea of what your home is worth in today's market, just text the word listing to the phone number 555-888. So once again, on your smartphone, if you're thinking about selling your home, you can text the word listing to the phone number 555-888 to get an idea of your home worth in today's market. But make sure when you do that, we are going to respond back to you and send you a link. Make sure that you click the link, input your address, and from there, we can tell you what your home is worth in today's market.
Be sure to take that extra step. It only takes 20 or 30 seconds to do so, and it's very helpful to you to just make sure you complete that process so you can truly find out that potential value of your home if you want to sell it in today's market. So again, just text the word listing, put that in the message, and send it to the number 555-888. And we'll text you right back with what you need to fill in that information, 20 or 30 seconds worth, and you'll be on your way to finding out that potential value of your home. Great starting point for somebody thinking about selling your home in the near future, or even if you're a little ways off, still worth finding out that potential value now. You can kind of keep it updated on it as it changes over time. Text the word listing to the number 555-888. Very useful tool if you're thinking about selling your home. More coming up on today's show, so don't go anywhere. This is The Savvy Realtor with Angie Cole.
Did you know that Wake County grows on average by 64 people per day? That's a lot of homes being bought and sold. If you're planning to join the moving madness, you better listen up to The Savvy Realtor.
This is the closing recap on The Savvy Realtor with Angie Cole. And Angie and her team have helped so many people buy and sell homes over the last couple of weeks. Angie, I know you've got plenty of stories to draw from as we try and ask you each week to highlight one of the more fun closings that you've had in a recent week or two. And who are we featuring on this week's segment?
Yeah, so I want to say congrats to Tangie and John. And I love Tangie's name because it rhymes with Angie, of course.
Is it just a T in front of the Angie? Is it that?
It sure is. Okay. Yep. It's that easy. But yeah, I just want to congratulate them. So they just sold one of their investment condos that they own here in Raleigh. But what I love so much about this is, first of all, the speed behind it. So it was a wonderful situation where we got multiple offers, multiple cash offers, and they closed within, I believe, a week and a half. So they were super stoked about that. It was, a super fast and seamless closing for them. But what makes the situation even neater is I originally met with Tangie back in 2016. So we've had an ongoing relationship for 3 years now, and she finally gave me the opportunity to list her home and to get it sold for her. So I got to say, I had to put in a lot of hard work to get this listing, but I'm so, grateful and fortunate that Tangie and John trusted me with getting this investment condo sold for them. And I know that they are super thrilled and super excited to have, that off their plate.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a lift off the shoulders, and it sounds like it worked out better than they could have expected with all of those cash offers coming through and a little bit of a bidding war there. So very cool. That's exciting. So if you're thinking about selling your home in the near future, whether it be your main home or an investment property like Tangie and John were utilizing there, you can certainly do that with Angie and the team. They'll walk you through. Angie and her folks will come out, walk you through all the important information that you need to know when it comes to selling your home, go over the marketing plan with you, make sure that you settle on a great price, the right price to list your home so that you can create those bidding wars and not make the mistake of overpricing or underpricing your home. All of those little things are, of course, very important. If you want to reach out to Angie and the team, you can call or text 919-538-6477 to start your conversation now. That's 919-538-6477. Again, you can call, or it's as simple as texting that number to communicate back and forth with Angie as well. They've got a 29-day home sold guarantee where they do just what it sounds like. Sell your home in 29 days or less, or they sell sell it for free. If you want the details on that, again, you can discuss that with Angie and the team when you dial in. 919-538-6477 is that number. And always online, you can get in touch, acolerealty.com. That's acolerealty.com. And if you're just sort of beginning that process of selling your home, maybe even you haven't taken any steps yet, you're just thinking about it, or you know that it's on the horizon. Angie, you guys have a great tool that people utilize. It seems like each and every week when we talk about it here on the radio show, that folks can kind of find out an initial estimate of their home's value. Tell us a little bit about that tool and how easy it is.
Yeah, sure thing. It seems always to be that when sellers potentially want to meet for listing presentation, what's most important to them is, well, what is my home worth? What can I sell it for in today's market? And although we'd love to meet with you for a listing presentation so we can tell you just fully about our team, about our marketing plan, when we get down to it, the most important thing for sellers is what can we sell their home for and what will they net? So if you are thinking about selling your home and you want to get an idea of what your home is worth, in today's market, you can text the word listing to the phone number 555-888, and from there, we will send you back a text. Make sure that you click the link, you input your address, and then from there, we can give you an idea of what you could sell your home for in today's market. So once again, just on your smartphone, if you are thinking about selling your home and you want to get an idea of what your home is worth in today's market in 2019, just text the word listing to the phone number 555-888.
It's very easy to do, an easy tool to utilize. Once again, just text the word listing to the number 555-888. We'll text you right back with quick instructions on how you can find out that estimated home value. If you were to sell it in today's market, only takes 20 or 30 seconds to put in that information, so you can do it real quick right now while it's on your mind. Just text the word listing to the number 555-888. if you're thinking about selling your home in the near future to find out that potential value. Much more coming up on today's show, so stay with us. This is The Savvy Realtor with Angie Cole.
It's time for the mailbag. We want to hear from you.
Dale in Raleigh. It's a pretty simple one. Dale says, where can I find homes in low-crime areas, Angie?
You know, Dale, although, this is a question that we do get quite a bit, we cannot discuss this. As being a real estate agent, we are limited on talking about certain protected classes per se, and crime rate is just one of those that we cannot give you feedback and guidance on. Now, what I can tell you, though, you can do, there is a lot of online resources where you can go and you can look at crime reports. You can actually look at the maps and see what type of crime happened in what area. You can also, I know I personally did this at one point, is I called my local police station and I was able to get a crime report for, I told them the specific address and they pulled, for example, like a half-mile radius, and they were able to give me a crime report. So there is research that you can do as being a buyer, but that just unfortunately is not something that us as agents, we can give you guidance on. And, honestly, we don't 100% even know, right? There's no way for us to understand all areas and what is happening in what specific spots. I always say a rule of thumb, though, is, drive through during certain days and decide if that's an area where you feel comfortable. So, maybe drive through at 8 in the morning, maybe drive through midday and then 8 at night, and just see, how does the area make you feel? So that's something that unfortunately, you're going to have to determine, and a real estate agent, really, we cannot give you guidance in regards to crime and what areas have low crime rates.
So you can point in the right direction for the tools, but can't really give opinion on what areas are good.
Just like schools. It's the same as schools. Same thing. We can point you in the right direction to send you to the public school websites. But if you say, hey, I want to be in a good school district, a lot of it's opinion too, right? Because to one person, a lot of break-ins is no big deal, but when there's shootings, that scares me. So a lot of it can be opinions as well. So that's why we really cannot give you guidance on that end.
Yeah, and same thing with schools. Some elements, are testing scores more important than college placement, or more important than
right.
a diverse school or whatever it may be. There's
sometimes
different people
a parent
value
just
different
didn't hit
things.
it off with one teacher, so they now hate that school, you know?
Sure.
That's just not fair, guidance for us to give you there.
Yeah. Good question, though, Dale. Thank you for asking that
Yeah.
one. Check out some of those tools online that are, at your disposal, and that might help you then make your own decisions on kind of drawing those, lines around the areas that you like the most based on some of that data, if that's important to you. You've been listening to the Savvy Realtor Podcast. I'm Walter Storholt alongside Angie Cole. She's the owner and broker in charge of A. Cole Realty here in the Triangle. And if you have questions for Angie, we invite you to go online to acolerealty.com. Listen to past podcast episodes on the website, read the blog, and all the great information, including the option to find a home right there on the website. That's acolerealty.com. And you can also call Angie with your questions, 919-578-3128.